going to be discussing playing melodic and or lead parts on bass. You know, similar to the way that John Entwistle and Les Claypool and Geddy Lee and other famous bass players have done. So first, to kind of give a little bit of a build-up, before you start playing lead or melodic lines on bass, you have to have the proper settings on your amp. Because if you tend to set the settings flat, or with bass being the only thing that's really boosted and everything else cut, you'll have difficulty playing more complex or melodic lines because the notes will all kind of get muddied together, and not only that, but it'll be hard for you to be heard over the guitar. So first things first, you probably want to increase the treble and the mid-range, because those help you cut through and be heard more, and they won't have as much physical presence as just boosting the bass and nothing else. But if you're looking to be heard and you're looking to do more complex things, then that's what you need. That's the tone you need to strive for. Okay, first we're gonna start out simple by laying down the foundation in a groove, like. Then once you get that down, you can start just adding things to it, like. Now that was just playing melodic parts into a bass line, like sort of like fills. I guess there's kind of a fine line between fills and sort of more melodic bass parts. My understanding, and I'm not classically trained or anything, but my understanding is that a fill is sort of done for the most part sparsely to try to like bridge certain parts in songs, but for the most part the bass player is just keeping a solid groove and doing fills occasionally, whereas like in melodic bass playing you would be doing fills a lot more frequently, you know. And it all depends on what the guitarist and the drummer and the vocalist and everybody else are doing. If the guitarist is someone that's more of a melodic virtuoso, then as a bass player you're probably going to be doing fills and melodic lines a lot less, because they're taking over most of the melody, so you have to cement the groove. However, like in the last band I was in, the guitarist didn't play melody a whole lot. He more tried to play chords and complex rhythmic structures and things like that. So I kind of took it upon myself, because at the time there was no other guitarist or keyboard player. I kind of took it upon myself to play more melodic lines, and some of them were lead lines where I was just sort of keeping the rhythm. I mean, I was still playing something that was rhythmic, but it was mostly melodic because the guitarist was doing just a bunch of sustained chords and things like that. And it's much easier to do lines like that and play more melodic lines and lead bass lines if you've got like an extended range bass, like a 5 or 6 string, which I do have a 6 string, but for the instance of this lesson, since most people have 4-string basses, I thought I would use this to make it easier for people to follow and understand, so that they don't look at it and say, well, how am I supposed to do that? I don't have a 6-string bass. So, and you can play melodic and lead lines on a 4-string bass too, but the only difference is, since you don't have the high C string on a 4-string, it's a little harder to do more interesting things like chords and certain like cool melodies and stuff like that. Like, they just sound better if you've got a higher string.